Okay, perfect. We want to welcome everybody here to our Zoom leaders call, sort of an update call for everybody on Summer Camp 2024 for Scouts BSA. I'm John Scheib. I have served as the camp director at Pipsico Scout Reservation for the summer for the last 3 years, and I'm currently serving as the president of Tidewater Council and as advisor to the summer camp team as part of our transition. I'll be fully engaged this year and conducting our staff training week, and I'll be up there for most of week 1 and parts of other weeks as we transition our leadership team, but maintaining our standard of Pipsico awesome as we do that. We have a little bit of a slide presentation to get started to convey some information to folks. And then, as always, we will take questions as we move forward for about the next hour. You're welcome to put things in the chat. We do have a couple of our teammates who will monitor the chat as we go along. And so if you do have questions in the interim, folks will try to respond to those in the chat. Bill, are you going to share our slides, or do you need me to do that?
If you can, I mean, I can as well, but if you can, that way you can control the flow.
I got it, John.
Thanks.
Okay. Wes has it.
Thanks, Wes. We're going to start, while Wes is pulling up our slides, we want to start by introducing everybody to some of our teammates who are on the call. And I'm going to try to real quickly run through who I see on the call from our team in no particular order other than their box shows up first. And if I miss any of our teammates from the summer camp leadership team, just speak up at the end. We have AJ Vasta, who's our trading post staff advisor, with us this evening. You've seen Wes Parker, who's our vice president of camping. We have with us Christy Cooper, who will be with us this summer in a leadership capacity. I don't know if we've settled on a title, but we're glad to have Christy back. Many of you know her from the last few years. We have Brian Phillips, who's joining us this year as our camp commissioner. We're certainly excited to have him as part of the team. Jimmy Jennings will be back with us with the PEX program. Sunshine is with us. Sunshine will be our program director this summer and has been very active working with our leadership team here in the off season. Looking down a little further, Sebastian Dobrinsky's here. He will be our trading post manager. RJ Schlatt is with us. RJ will be the nature director this summer. Let's see, who else do I see real quickly? That might be all. Did I miss? Lisa Miller's with us. Everybody knows Lisa from our dining hall. She runs our dining hall team. Did I miss anybody? Speak up if I missed you. Okay, terrific.
Jim Croom.
Oh, Jim, thank you. Jim's here. Jim Croom's with us. He works down on our waterfront down on the river. Thank you, Jim. Okay, Wes. Let's move to the next slide. Perfect. We do have a few staff opportunities available. To be candid with you, we do not need any CITs. We don't need any 14 or 15-year-olds. If you have folks who are 16, 17, or 18 years old that want to work at camp, we have a few spots left there. The opportunity to apply is available on the Pipsico website. It's the first thing that comes up when you Google Pipsico Scout Reservation summer camp staff. It'll take you right to the application or staff application. We'd encourage you, if you have some young people, 16, 17, or 18, that are interested in joining us and seeing if they can help make our team more awesome. We'd love to have them apply here in the next couple of weeks. We are rounding out the team pretty quickly. And so if there are folks out there who are interested, we'd love to hear from them very quickly. Wes? Health and safety update. We wanted to just touch on this very quickly. I know on the last call we mentioned that we do have a new vehicle policy in camp. The NCAP standards require any vehicle that's in camp on a regular or more permanent basis has to have a fire extinguisher and a first aid kit, among other things. It's also not conducive to our camp to have vehicles moving in and out of camp. We do a very good job. We're very diligent about that during the summer camp season. We are doing that now in the off-season at off-season events as well, including having installed a new electronic gate there at the Burton Center for which a pass and the code is required. So please prepare yourself for that new vehicle policy. We'll still allow one vehicle per unit in and out during the summer to drop gear and then come back out. That'll be consistent with the new council vehicle policy. In addition, I'd just point out to folks that the COVID restriction guidelines in Virginia also changed in the last 2 weeks. Our medical team is reviewing those, but essentially some of the waiting requirements have changed to simply 24 hours without a fever, and then protecting other people for about 5 days thereafter. And so we will operate our camp consistent with those Virginia guidelines as far as COVID is concerned. So those are the two health and safety updates for the evening. Wes? Let me turn it over to Wes Parker, who will talk about merit badge registration and where we are on our camp registration at this point.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, John. Micro or multitasking here because I'm also replying to stuff in the chat. All right, so merit badge registration. Hopefully everyone is very familiar with what I am sharing right now on my screen, which is our merit badge guidebook. Okay, so this is separate from our leader's guide. It's a separate leader's guide because there's a lot of information in here that specifically pertains to our merit badge program. So inside this book, as John kind of already alluded to, our merit badge registration opens at 10 a.m. on March 23rd. And then you have had to pay $150 per scout deposit to register. Now, this question gets asked a lot. It doesn't need to average per scout. It just, the scout that you are trying to register merit badge for needs to have that 150. So if you've used the parents portal, or you have everybody but one scout that's paid and the one scout hasn't, your unit does not get penalized. It's on a per scout basis. So as long as that individual scout has $150 on their registration applied to them, then it is going to unlock that merit badge registration for you. Okay. I will be sending out a couple of videos in advance of it, the merit badge registration process. But basically, in short, it's pretty straightforward and simple. When you go into your unit registration portal, you click on the individual scouts, and in the area where all of their information is, like their name, their age, etc., a new area is going to appear that is merit badge registration, and you'll see a little chart and timetable, and you will just search for the merit badge you want. You're going to click it, and then it's automatically added as soon as you click that button. So there's no need to check out or anything like that. As soon as you click it, it will add to that scout's registration process. So again, it's through the same online portal that you had your merit badge registration for, and that $150 per scout. It's pretty self-explanatory. And yes, the 150 does include the deposit that's already been made. And that is basically just about that for merit badge registration. The next thing I wanted to talk about, yeah, and again, just to reiterate, once all the merit badge classes are full, they automatically close. So as soon as you click that, though, you're in for that merit badge registration. And yeah, like I said, I'll send out some YouTubes. Registration status, week 1 was closed last time we had the leaders meeting, and now week 3 is also closed. Week 2 and 4 are fastly filling up, particularly as we get closer to this merit badge registration. That's when more people tend to sign up. So if you if you need spots, please register now, put your deposit, put your payment. And if you don't need any spots, like we need to know before merit badge registration so that we give anybody that's currently on the waiting list at 1 and 3 opportunity to get in and get registered for merit badges as well. So, you know, there will start to be penalties for cancellation. So we need to get any spots you may not use, resolved as soon as possible. But we're excited about the summer. We think it's going to be great. We're excited about this attendance, and we're going to have definitely an awesome summer.
Great, thanks, Wes. So speaking of awesome, we'll give a little shout out. I don't know if AJ, you want to speak to these or not, but a little promo to some of the shirts we're going to have available this summer.
Sure. There's going to be 4 new shirts. There's going to be the camp shirt. You guys hopefully will pre-order. Again, I mentioned that last week. Don't like collect all the money and bring it to camp and try to get 30 or 40 shirts when you get up there. You're going to save your guys money if you pre-order them. So that's my little pitch for that. But there's going to be the camp shirt, the Wednesday Awesome shirt, and then the 2 that you're looking at here are currently available now, and it's the 2 specialty shirts. One that recognizes our Aqua Fest under the Aqua Dome, which those of you that come to camp before know about. And the other one is a shooting sports. Actually, the shooting sports shirt is not on there. That is the Awesome shirt, right, John, that I'm looking at there?
Yes, that's the awesome shirt on the right in red, the Aquadome shirt in blue. And if Wes scrolls to the next slide, you'll see the shooting sports.
There we go. And there's the new shooting sports shirt. All those should be available for you when you come to camp. We'll reorder as needed if they're popular, but a lot of good, new, exciting stuff in the trading posts.
Great, perfect. The camp shirt is not visible yet. The camp shirt has has our patch design on the back. You saw the patch design, or at least the last version on the first slide. So the camp shirt that will be orderable will be posting that visual as soon as we get it back from the vendor. But it has the patch design on the back and the Pipsico medallion on the front. So that answers that question in the chat. Yes, from the chat, we do try to put boy and girl related troops together in the same site as best we can, as long as you give us notice or indicate that they're related troops. We'll do our best on that. Wes, let me turn it back over to you as our Vice President of Camping. For folks who haven't been up to Pipsico in the last few weeks, give them an update on everything that's going on up there from a capital standpoint.
Yep. So we've got a lot of awesome stuff, crazy awesome, almost scary awesome stuff that's happening this year. So we are introducing another 40 new tents. So for those of you that may have been fortunate enough to get some of our new tents last year, we've got an additional 40 that we're rotating through with new and improved tent platforms as well. All the tent platforms are constructed. All the tent platforms in Site 9, which had the upgraded tents this year, are basically installed and were decked this past weekend. And this coming weekend, the tent platforms in Site 3 are going to be installed and decked. So we're pretty excited about that. Also, our aquatic center. So I mean, this is a $200,000 renovation that we're doing. This is one of the big things. You know, we really believe in listening to when you all provide comments. And one big comment we've gotten the last couple of years is just our pool, shower, and changing facilities really weren't up to par. And we know that. Now, you know, that was definitely a 1988 design, which worked great in 1988, but it's now 2024. So we reached out and dug into the couch cushions really deep and found the money that we needed to put into building this new aquatic center that we're doing. It is going to be called the Beasley Aquatic Center. If you're local, there's a Beasley Foundation that's based out of Portsmouth, Virginia, that was founded by Mr. Beasley, who I can't think of his first name at the moment right now.
Fred Beasley.
Thank you. Yeah, but believe in giving back to the community and particularly youth. So they're giving us capital improvement money to help along this project. All of the plumbing has been roughed in as of this past weekend, and concrete is going to be poured later this week to finish the showers and the surrounding pathway. So all of that is moving forward as planned, and you're going to see quite an improved experience. There's going to be 7 new individual unisex shower and toilet facilities there that are accessible not just when you're at the pool, but they're accessible from the outside of the building. So this will be another shower house effectively for people on this side of camp that are on the other side from our central shower building. And then also the changing area are individual lockable stalls where you can go in and change. And then you can see it actually in this rendering here. You'll be able to store all of your stuff outside in cubbies. So all of your stuff will be nice and contained in your own little kind of box there as you're going through and doing our aquatics programs. Lots of other little things. Ranger's got a new tractor, which has made the new tent platform install quite easy. I also got to drive it, which was awesome. That was a very exciting experience. And yeah, just lots going on, and we're looking forward to the summer and sharing all of this excitement with you all.
Perfect. Thanks, Wes. So program updates, let me turn it over to Sunshine, our program director. He can talk about some of these updates as we look at the Aquadome t-shirt design again.
All right, yeah, so for program updates, a lot of them are very similar to what we discussed in February, but for the people who weren't here in February, we're really focusing on amping up our evening events. So our Tuesday patrol event, the Pipsico games, we're going to go, all in, make it go all out, make it as great as possible. Eagle's Nest, we're still currently looking for potential counselors to help with that. Our Eagle's Nest program is designed on helping scouts 14 and older, star rank and above, get some of those nasty paperwork requirements for Eagle required badges done. That's typically our Thursday night program. So we're looking for some counselors to help with that. We're really looking to amp that up as well, make it a great experience for those scouts. It'll help them along their way to Eagle. And then Aquadome is our Wednesday aquatics event that we are, as y'all saw earlier with AJ's update on the trading post, we are really amping up with these t-shirts. They look incredible. Really impressed by them. And Aquadome is always, an incredible event as well. So that's our main focuses on program updates at the moment.
Great. Just Lisa Miller, are you on? Do you want to talk a little bit about specialty meal requests?
Yeah, I had to get my microphone. As everybody knows, we want those meal requests as soon as we can get them. 3 weeks out is perfect. I will take them sooner rather than later. What we'll do is go ahead and give everybody a call. So make sure that contact information is on the sheet. And we'll call the parents and talk to them and make sure we've got everything good to go.
Great. And I want to just put an emphasis point on this. Lisa and her team do an amazing job. I mean, awesome job, a really
Thank you.
awesome job, both overall with the food and food delivery for the masses, but also trying to make accommodations for people who do have food restrictions. But I want to emphasize this, like overemphasize it. She cannot do it the week of. Like if a scout shows up on Sunday and says, I have a food restriction, the unit will have to handle that. If you get us the information in advance, Lisa will practically kill herself trying to make sure that scout has something to eat that meets their dietary restrictions. But it has to be done in advance. Has to be done in advance. Okay, pre-swim checks. We've had a lot of success sort of streamlining our check-in over the last couple of years to be more efficient. As everybody who's ever been to a summer camp anywhere knows, One of the pinch points in the check-in process is always getting through the swim check. So last year, we really encouraged units to pre-swim check when they could. And a lot of units took us up on that, and it made a huge difference across the course of the summer in terms of getting people into camp on Sunday. Like, we get it as much as anybody that troops want to try to unpack and all that sort of jazz. But the business of getting people checked in has to come first, and that includes the swim check. So we can get units to their campsites faster and meet their goal of unpacking trailers and all that other stuff on Sunday afternoon, the more units that have done pre-swim checks. In the leader's guide, there's the form for conducting your own pre-swim check. Our aquatics director, Rick McElrath's not here today, so I will try to parrot him, which is to say, the swim test is not a survival test. The swim test is a proficiency test. So if you do your own swim check or your own swim checks, the swimming is the full distance with a strong stroke, not can I doggy paddle across the pool a couple times. So make sure that we're doing the swim checks correctly, but we certainly encourage folks to do swim checks in advance. Another part of our streamlining the check-in process regards medical forms. Please do not put medical forms in individual plastic sleeves. Just bring us a stack of medical forms. We have to otherwise pull each one of them out of the plastic forms, which just takes too long for us. It backs things up. We've just found it is much easier if you have a stack of medical forms to hand our medic, and that will help facilitate moving through medical check as fast as possible as well. The swim check is the same for all Boy Scouting, or excuse me, Scouts BSA events. So the swim test applies to Salehampton Roads and PEX as well, with the caveat that in the Salehampton Roads and the PEX program, every participant must test as a swimmer. They must test as a swimmer, not as a beginner or a non-swimmer. So the swim test for all Scouts BSA activities is the same, and for Salehampton Roads and PEX, that you have to be a swimmer. All right, Wes. For folks that have Cub packs as part of their unit, we are proud and excited to update folks that we have created our Wiblos and Cub program for 2024. We set up a Cub Scout working group in our council to try to think this through a little better. And our theme this year is Bug Hunters. It has separate programs for Wiblos and Cubs. Our Wiblos will come in on Thursday and have Wiblo specific activities through until Friday afternoon when the Cub Scouts check in. All the meals will be in the dining hall this year and prepared by our team. So that's an improvement over prior years as well. Registration for that, Wes, is it open, or it is open or opening? Can you confirm that?
It is open.
It is open. So we'd love to have folks promote that to their fellow Cub packs as a great opportunity to get younger Scouts an experience at summer camp. Sunshine is part of that Cub Scout working group and has been working on the program with that team. And so the leader's guide that is on the website is not the current leader's guide, but that the leader's guide with all these changes will be updated in the next couple of days. All right, Wes. As always, the key resources are available on the Pipsico resource page. The leader's guide is there. The merit badge guide is there. And there's a lot of other information there as well. So I think that concludes the sort of formal presentation of all the information that we wanted to convey to you. We've handled a lot of questions in the chat, but if there are more, let's go ahead and close the presentation, Wes, so that we can see more faces, and we'll try to take some questions.
Yep, and John, real quick, if I could, I'm going to play a 2-minute video for everyone. That just shows how the merit badge registration is done.
Perfect.
We're going to do that real quick. That way people can see it and then maybe ask questions about that. So. Boom.
Classes to your schedule. To select classes for a single attendee, find their name and click on Update Information. Find the schedule field on the form and click on Select Classes. Use the drop-down menus to see classes from a single catalog or period. You can also search for classes. You can view all classes to see additional information from the catalog. This includes the period and days of the week it is offered, the number of spots available if there is a limit, additional fees for the class, any additional periods it is offered, as well as any minimum age or rank requirements. Click on an available class and it will move to the attendee schedule on the left. As you add classes to your schedule, conflicting classes will disappear from the available classes on the right. Depending on the event, you may be able to add a bundle of classes. If you select a bundle, all classes in the bundle will be added to your schedule. If classes in your schedule conflict with classes in the bundle, then they may not be added to your schedule. To remove a class from your schedule, click on the class and it will return to the available classes on the right. Other classes offered during that period will become available again. Once you have finished selecting classes for that attendee, you can view their class schedule. You can print the attendee class schedule, and if you have selected merit badges, you can print blue cards as well. To see all attendee schedules, go to Additional Actions and select Manage Participant Classes. To make adjustments to their schedule, select the attendee. Once you have made your adjustments, click on Show Class Schedule to return to the previous screen. If merit badge classes are offered, you will find the blue card icon next to each attendee. As long as the attendee has been booked, they will immediately hold a spot in the class. If they have not been booked, you will need to complete checkout for that attendee. Depending on the event, you may be able to access reports. The reports may vary as they are managed by the council, but you may be able to find schedules and other helpful reports here.
Right. So, yeah, again, I think the important things to remember is this screen right here. Again, the individual unit, this spot right now is not going to be visible. Or hold on, I'm just double checking. Yeah, it's not visible yet. But it will be visible starting immediately at 10 a.m. on the date of merit badge registration's open. So you just click select and then follow the processes in the video. All right, now open questions, John.
Yeah, let's do that. I think we're almost caught up with the ones in the chat, but let's take, we can take some others live.
I've got one, Jesse Rogers, Troop 11. Just wondering, I've seen it in the chat here. I've got a scout that joined recently, and I've got another one crossing over on Thursday. They're currently on the waiting list. Is it going to be like a 1-for-1 substitution on that list as people reduce their numbers?
I'm not going to make any commitments on this call. Part of the reason we asked units to give us accurate counts up front was because we knew those weeks would close. We can make some decisions as we get closer about whether to go over our subscription limit, but I'm not in a position to do that today. So yes, to start with, it'll be one. If one drops, one will get added.
And hopefully that'll happen prior to the merit badges being released.
That we will process them as quickly as we can once we get them, but that, that's all I can commit to.
Okay, thanks.
We're assuming, Jesse, you're week 1 you're talking about, right?
Yeah, week 1.
Yeah, so, because like I know week 3, there's a unit, 2 units, 3 units that I'm actually going to release some spots right now because we had some people drop, so. Yeah.
Great, thanks, Wes. Okay, what else?
So I had a question from our unit. We have a scout who is waitlisted in Salehampton Roads and doesn't know if he's going to get in, but wanted, if he wasn't going to be able to do that, wanted to do merit badges, and we don't know what to tell him.
I would register him for merit badges. Very rarely does anybody drop from Salehampton Roads.
So does he have to pay his deposit twice? Does his deposit transfer over?
Yeah, Wes, you want to talk about deposits?
Yeah, so basically, if you want to make that decision, you can just change his registration type. So you can do that by emailing the summer camp at pipsicobsa.com, and we could do it for you. And so his deposit would just transfer over to the base camp. What
Okay,
unit number are you?
124.
So, wow. He is first in line, so
And
there is
that's,
actually a chance that he could get, he's the next one up, so. I would recommend.
but we're like, we don't want him to not have
Yeah, correct.
anything,
Yeah.
which is what we've been trying to figure out
Mhm.
for 2 months.
Yeah. Email us separately, and that way I can just track it better, please. But we'll get a decision in enough time for you to do something for merit badge registration.
I've done that multiple times and never heard anything, which is why I was having this conversation.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, and I think that's because I didn't have any information to give you at the time, but okay, so if that's you, then I will follow up with you separately.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Salehampton Roads is just a really tricky one again. And I said this at the last meeting, and we really mean this. We always try to find a yes. So sometimes that delays our responses somewhat because we're trying to find a way to make it yes. Because we don't want to say no, but like in that particular program, the boat size is the boat size. So we can only do so many people on the boat. But if people drop, they drop in it sporadically. Like I got an email the other day where I was able to bump somebody off because somebody got transport orders. Their parents are moving across country, so they can't go anymore. So there's random things like that occur.
Yeah. But Sarah, I will just tell you from lots of experience, that's rare. You should count on that scout registering for merit badges and have their list of merit badges ready to register them on the merit badge registration date.
Well, but that scout is already been removed from the other list because the week was full. So now does he not have anything?
No, we'll take care of him, as Wes said, but that for your internal planning, you should plan on getting a merit badge list for him or her, and being ready to register for merit badges. Wes will take care of it separately with you on the registration side.
Okay.
Who else?
I had a question about the registration portal for merit badges. How many leaders can actually log in? I mean, is it going to be where I can give my committee members access to some things, or that way I can get additional help with that, or how does that actually work?
Wes, you want to take the black pug question?
Yeah, so I answered this in the chat too. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm like 95% certain that you can't have multiple people in there at one time. Now, keep in mind, like multiple people are in the same individual shot, youth, there's probably going to be errors there. So, I mean, there's a little bit of risk because you're competing against inputs per se, but the way Black Pug works was one of the reasons why we use the system. You don't have to even have a login to do it. As long as you're using that link that Black Pug sent you when you registered your unit, then you can send that link to whomever and they can go in and make edits and changes to your registration. Now be careful because they can do whatever they want to the registration. So it's one of the reasons why we don't allow like individual units to delete people. You have to kind of go through us. That way someone doesn't accidentally remove someone that wasn't supposed to be.
Great.
All right, thank-
No, we don't time limit registration. Merit badge registration opens for everybody on the same day at the same time. We do not use blue cards. Black Pug will have all the records in there. You can print blue cards as needed from Black Pug after summer camp's over. Okay, what else you got?
Hey, John, Billy Rulepaw here from Troop 121. First, I wanted to say you guys do a phenomenal job. We love coming there, and we really appreciate Pipsico for everything it is. I have a stupid question, and I know that it's probably been asked before already, but just because math is hard for me.
No problem.
All right. So it's the $25 registration fee. And in this scenario, let's say I have a scout pay the $25. We register each scout from the troop to $25. And then on the 23rd, by the 23rd of March, we got to pay another $150, right, to be in merit badges. Or is that really actually $125 because we've already paid the $25? That's how that would work.
Yeah, let me turn it over to the engineer who actually does math. Billy, as you know, I'm a lawyer by training, and that math stuff confuses me too.
Yeah. So Morris, can I use your registration again as an example? Don't say anything if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to share my screen real quick. So your registration portal looks a little bit different, but it's pretty close. This is my back end. So you can see here, this youth from Morris's unit, he has paid $25 right now. And this is his balance due. So if you go in to check out and apply payment, it's going to ask you to choose see right here, how much you're going to pay per person. So you can come in here and choose to only pay, this $125 for this one youth, which would get them to the 150. So yeah, that's the math, right?
Yeah.
So you only need to add an additional 150. Yeah. And then that would get him to the 150. So you can do this individual, like.
So you have to add
one
120. Wes, you have to add 125 to the 25 to get you 150.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Up
Okay.
here.
You said add 150. I just want to make sure.
Sorry. 120 to get to the
I can do that math.
Yeah. 125 to get to the 150. But I can come in here and save it, and then I can check out, and then that money is only going to be applied to the youth that I assign that payment to. So in Morris's example here, if this first one, Brooks, was the only person to pay, he's the only one that's going to be able to register for merit badges at 10 a.m. Everybody else will not be allowed to.
Right. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Wes. And now for the second part to it, of course, is assuming it's all paid up right then, and then we want to hit that early bird fee by the 20th of April. So the remaining balance that we would owe is $210.
Yep.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome.
And the early bird fee works on an individual basis too. So if you have that one scout that's late paying, then just don't pay it for him, and they're going to get hit with the regular rate. Everybody else will have early bird.
Oh, so we don't have to have the whole troop registered by that time in order to get that. Oh, you're awesome. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, obviously, we want you to, but
It helps us. It helps us buy groceries, Billy.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, no, those are great questions. And Billy, we're excited to have you all back as always. We'll look forward to having an awesome week with you. And thanks for the kind words.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's take a couple really quick. Carl, I don't mean to give you a flip response to how fast do merit badges register, or do merit badges fill up. Some of them fill up very quickly. Others are less slowly, but when we open it at 10 a.m., they will begin to fill up very quickly. So it goes very fast. For those who haven't been to our camp before, we have a couple of sites that have electricity. We are by no means a electricity in every campsite camp at this time. If it's going to be an issue, you should bring extension cords. We recommend 100 feet. We do not do battery rentals. So if you need batteries for your CPAP or something like that, you should plan to be self-sufficient. We are working to expand electricity in other parts of the camp, but it's just going to take time, and we'd rather just be upfront and honest with you right now than mislead you. A boating license is not required for scouts doing the motorboat merit badge. The motorboat license, I believe it's not a requirement. Jim Croom's on here. Jim, let me let you answer that question. Jim, the question is a boating license required for motorboating merit badge?
And the answer to that is no. The instructor of the motorboating merit badge has to have his license, and as long as he's on the boat and is in control of the vessel, it's not a problem. So when the scouts do the requirement of driving the boat, the one with the license is sitting right there beside them.
Perfect. And Jim, your motorboating license is up to date, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're good to go.
And John, I'd just like to add, for those that are online, since we're talking about merit badges, every year I get real disappointed in teaching water sports. That is water skiing, and it is a very intense merit badge. If your scout is not familiar with putting on skis or something like that, just be aware it's going to be very difficult for them. They have to have some upper body strength and definitely some coordination. So this isn't necessarily a merit badge for a younger scout, unless they are familiar with the water and have been on it quite a bit. We have every year, the number of merit badges coming out of water sports is far less than the participants, because I can't ski for them. They have to be able to get up and ski and meet those requirements. So have your scouts look at those requirements. Leaders look at the requirements with them and make sure they understand coming in. Last year, we had a couple that thought, oh, these are water games at the pool. And no, it's not. It's water skiing on the James River, which adds another degree of complexity.
Yeah, and Jim raises a good point. It's probably worth a second, which is, we have merit badges that are very much skill based, and we have merit badges that are more knowledge, for lack of a better word. As you're thinking about skill based merit badges with your scouts, think about the skills they have to do and whether they have the strength or endurance to complete those requirements. This is particularly comes up with newer scouts, or I shouldn't say newer, younger scouts. I guess a 17-year-old scout could be new, but in any event, think about particularly your first-year camper types that have just crossed over. There are merit badges that are probably not appropriate, even though they sound exciting to them, and they may not have the physical capability to do the requirements. So I know as good leaders, you all think through that with your first year scouts. There's certainly a tried and true, pathway for first year scouts that's usually includes the Huskinaw program, the first aid merit badge, some sort of handicraft merit badge, and then something else that usually fills their day, is fun for them, and doesn't set them up to fail with a merit badge where they may not have the upper body strength or what have you to do. But we leave that to you. That is a unit decision. We can only tell you what we've seen.
Hey, John, a question a while back, and this will be, I don't know if Rick's on, but people keep asking, what is Rumble in the Aquadome?
Well, I can do my best to
Yeah.
tell you what the Rumble in the Aquadome
Dome.
But probably Sunshine should get the first shot at it since he's our program director.
All right. So our Rumble in the Aquadome event is our Wednesday night aquatics event. It is it's more troop centered, but scouts sign up as part of their units to do different events, and that's for the units to really plan out. And these events range from having to put on a freezing t-shirt and do relay, to water balloon challenges, trying to keep
Swim with
that
fire,
going.
swim with
Yep.
fire, crawl under
Swim,
razor water,
yeah.
hand grenades, which are water balloons. It's a full camp, it's an entire camp activity. It is, for the folks who've been with us before, I can see a few of you grinning and nodding your head as we talk about it. It is very energetic. The units start to prepare for it. They get a list of the activities. The senior patrol leaders start to figure out which scouts are going to do each event. You'll see a lot of photos of it on our Facebook page and other places. It has been around, it's been a mainstay at our camp for a while, and it is quite awesome. Sometimes adult leaders get roped into doing the cannonball competition to close out the night. So super fun, super awesome. And this is the first year where we've ever had a shirt for the Rumble in the Aquadome by popular demand. So that's basically the Rumble in the Aquadome. It starts right after the leaders dinner on Wednesday night. We do a special thank you for all the leaders that sign up for the dinner. It's done by our Blue Heron Lodge cook crew on Wednesday night to give Lisa and her team a night off. Our scout executive comes out there. The council president, when he's in town, is there. And a number of our other executive board members will be there as well. And so we have that dinner, and then we adjourn straight outside for the Rumble in the Aquadome.
So another thing just to mention, unlike a lot of camps that we've been seeing doing, we don't want to nitpick you with fees. Right now, of all the badges we offer, we've only got 3 that have additional fees, and that's motorboating, water sports, and then citizenship in the nation. So that's something else to also kind of pay attention to. If you're signing up for any of those badges, really it's just a fuel recovery fee because fuel is so much for our large boats, and then field trip costs for that. But you know, we really try to give you as much as we can for what you're doing to come to the camp.
Wes, can I add or piggyback on that? He's talking strictly about fees paid online. There are a couple other badges that require a trading post purchase, however.
Yeah, correct. And and that's a self choice. They get to choose what kit they want. Like, for example, if they do basketry, you know, which is, you know, an optional on your own, you have to choose which basketry kit you want to do.
And I think this is where we remind folks that all of that is in the merit badge guide.
Yeah.
At the back of the merit badge guide, which is not long. It's only about 4 or 5 pages.
Hey, John.
Yeah. Hey, Brian.
Hey, for people wondering about the merit badge registration and how beyond what Wes showed, I'm the guy that does it for our troop and have been doing it for several years. And just a couple things that I do routinely each time, and because it works best this way, is that I find those scouts that are trying to register for merit badges that are particularly Eagle. I usually arrange the order of the scouts by the badges and their popularity or the need for a particular badge. So if I've got 4 scouts and they're going for communications merit badge, or one of the citizenship badges, I put them at the top of the list and get them done first because those are most likely the ones that are going to fill up first, and then come back and then go through. I mean, there's not really, I mean, that's like the most critical thing is getting those up front and trying to get them in, because it literally is a free for all when the badges, or when the merit badge, time, starts and registration starts. And, it can be a little frustrating, but, there are, that's probably the best, recommendation I can give, for how to get those guys, especially the older guys. They're running out of time. They need to have that, a particular badge or two, put them at the top of the list, register them first, and then work down from probably the older guys to the younger guys. Because the younger guys, my take is that they have more time. Their badges, maybe not quite as on demand as some of those other badges. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, that's
And let me
great.
throw you something real quick about the Rumble and the Aquadome.
Sure, Brian.
It's a mix of mostly relay races, but some of them are land running relay type races, and there are several swimming races, relay races, and it is a blast. My troop, we are the last 2 years we were there. We won the last 2 years that we were there. And it's a lot of fun. You'll blow a vocal cord screaming and cheering for your team or for your unit.
So I want to make a couple of notes about Brian. First of all, Brian's been an adult leader with us at our camp for a long time. We're lucky enough to have him as our camp commissioner this year. So he has lived the registration process and survived. So you will too. That's number one. And then second, I just want to call Brian out for that humble brag about his troop win in the Aquadome the last 2 years they were there. What else do folks have? We've got just a couple minutes left.
Oh, I do have one thing to announce. So we did make active payment by e-check without any type of processing fee. So that's something we worked out with our vendor. It still cost us on our end to process that payment, but we were able to reduce it by like 2/3 compared to what credit card processing fees are. So we are doing that as a service to you all this year.
Great reminder, Wes. So the merit badges that are open, that we have as open merit badges, scouts can start them anytime they can catch up with the counselor. Usually the counselor will be there during the merit badge offerings. They would have to set up something separately with the merit badge counselor to start it in an off period. Or let me rephrase that, in a non-merit badge time. Yes, I think what Wes is telling you is that you can now pay the merit badge deposit by electronic check.
Yep, correct.
We assign campsites much closer to camp, and we'll let you know your campsite the day you check in.
Hey, Wes, it's John Schulke from 1518. Well, we sent in a check on the deposit. It got applied kind of equitably across. But is there a way on our end to switch if scouts, as they go to pay the money? I mean, I know the next payment I can actually go in and put what we're paying. Can we fix what was before?
Send us an email to that summercamp@pipsicobsa.com email address, ideally with just like a simple chart that says who gets what dollar amount, and then we can reallocate it on our end.
Okay.
And for everybody online, if you do mail a check, when you send it to the council office, try to include that chart. Otherwise, they do what they did for his unit and just equally apply it to everybody if there's a specific order you want stuff applied in.
And then one other quick one. You just need the names. I've got a couple adults that are on the wait list, but our Eagle merit badge counselors, should I go ahead and just send their names in?
Yeah, adults will probably be easier to get off than youth. But if you send me an email, I can look at it.
Yeah, I'll send the names so that you guys can plan, Sunshine can plan the Eagle Nest stuff. I'll send it tonight.
Perfect.
Yes, a couple questions regarding check-in. We do assign check-in times. Check-in times are at 1 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, and at 3 o'clock. We don't let folks check in at off times. That's our way of metering people through the camp and the check-in process. We have found that definitely helps. And if everybody tries to check in at 1 o'clock, we just have a lot of people who are standing around waiting. So that is our process. We assign check-in times a few weeks before camp. And so you'll get an entire packet in the mail with things with lots of information that talk you through the check-in process, and that also walks you through the check-in and gives you a checklist for the materials to have at each station ready to go, including those medical forms not in plastic sleeves. We don't really let people ask for their check-in time because we know that you're all going to ask for 1 o'clock. So we do try to take into account the distance people have to travel and things like that and spread it equitably. If there is a very specific reason that you need a time, let us know. But we know that if we say you can request times, we've tried that. We've been down that road before, and you can't all have 1 o'clock. If you're, I see Gwen, I see your note there. If you're coming from a long ways away and you need one of the later check-in times, just let us know. We can almost always accommodate later. We can't accommodate everybody requesting 1 o'clock.
And I just got an email canceling 15 spots for week 1. So
folks will come in off the wait list, and folks that had noted that they may have some more crossovers, it looks like we'll have some room.
Yeah.
Last question, Wes, that just came up about provisional scouts there. You see that one in the chat? You want to take that one?
Yes, so provisional scouts are being handled the same way as the rest of the wait list. So depending upon where they are on the list, like right now for week 1, I've got we have 56 youth on the wait list at the moment. So depending upon where they are on the list, they may get an email tonight when I free up some of this space. It just depends. Now I will say for provisionals, if they can move to week 2 or week 4, then that's a no-brainer. Those weeks still have open, and that would be the preference for that.
Great. All right, we've kept you about an hour, and I think that this has been a very helpful conversation. We've got a lot of experience on the call, and that's been great words of wisdom and good questions, and that will help the folks who maybe this is their first time dealing with this camp registration process. Let me close on behalf of our entire team and just say how excited we are to have another awesome summer coming at us. We usually do one more of these Zoom meetings as we get a little closer to camp, and we will be scheduling that for the future as well. So we'll have another chance to visit with you before we see you at Pipsico Scout Reservation. So again, we're super excited about this summer. We've got a great team, and we're looking forward to having an awesome week with your unit. With that, thank you, and we'll see you all soon. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate everything y'all do down there.
You bet, Morris. Take care, all.
Thanks,
Thank
Morris.
you.
You're welcome. Take care, guys.
Is somebody still online for 1518 by chance?
Yeah, Wes, I'm here.
So you guys have from Capital Area Council, right?
Yes.
All right, so you've got 15 youth on the wait list. Do you still need those 15 slots?
Yeah, and I may actually have 1 or 2 more scouts, but because 1176 and is our sister troop. So I wasn't tracking those, and they had 4 or 5 girls come over this past week. But yeah, we can use any slot. I can fill it and actually make a payment here shortly.
Okay, you're gonna be getting an email from me shortly. Or from the system, I should say. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Look forward to it. It's our first time down there, and we've heard nothing but great things about Pipsico, so we thought we better come check it out ourselves.
Awesome, glad to hear it.
You made a good, you made the right choice, we like to say.
Yeah.
All right, great.
All right, thank you all. Have a great night.